Hello and welcome, episode 10 of the Jonah Jones podcast. I would like to start by apologising to all of you lovely listeners for my delayed 10th episode. It has been a while, so I would like to apologise. I've just been a little bit busy. I've started my PT course. I'm doing that. I've got some qualifiers coming up for some comps. So just kind of been trudging along, but I haven't forgot about you, and we are back for episode 10. I am sat with Dan.
Hello.
From CrossFit B76. Dan, tell us how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. So I'd literally just come back from doing the WOD today, which was a Murphish one. So have to admit I'm a little bit tired and worried how coherent I'm going to be over this podcast, but fortunately she can edit it, so if I start mumbling or fall asleep midway through...
All the nonsense, I'll just cut that straight out. Or I'll keep it in if it's funny, but we'll see.
It depends, but yeah, it's a good workout actually, and it's still quite a lot of people turned up, even though it was Murph, so yeah, good evening.
Have you ever done Murph before?
I did, so I haven't actually done it at the box before, but I've got some friends that like CrossFit as well, so one evening they texted and said, do you fancy coming over to our house and doing Murph and then getting a takeaway? Which sounded a brilliant idea at the time.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
The problem was, so to do the mile run, we ended up sort of running around the estate after, and second mile run, I wasn't in a great state, and one actual random member of the public pulled up in the car and asked if I was all right as well. So sort of running not in a great way, but good of them to look out for me at least. Good anyway.
Story. I only did Murph once. I think I did it Christmas time, 2015 or 16. Can't remember when, but I've only done it once. I just remember that feeling of thinking I'm going to die on that second mile run. It's that first like 200 metres where your legs just don't work and you're literally just waddling. And then after a while, it's like, okay, my legs are back now. But yeah, that first 200 metres or so on that last run, it's just like, nope, legs are gone.
But at least once you've done that, then you know it's like you're in your last mile and the end's in sight as well. It's just kind of grind through it and then finish. So.
Yeah, Murph was a grind. I don't know if I'd rather do Murph or that workout a few of us at the box did the other day. Did you see that?
Is that what the handstand push-ups?
So yeah, it was 100 rounds of one strict deficit handstand push-up, two squat cleans at 70 and 3 burpees. It took me an hour 19 minutes.
I think it'd take me about 2 weeks, so I'd take an hour 19.
Ridiculous. So. It was just like mentally like you were around like 25. I've done 25 rounds. I'm good. And then you're like, oh no, I've got 75 left. I'm done.
Was that one that someone made up, or was it?
It's a old Ben Bergeron comp train WOD, right. And Lee. Of course, it was Lee's idea. And then a few people going, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But I see the best time Ben Bergeron said he'd seen was like 1 hour 17, so I was only 2 minutes off. So
nice one.
Take that. But yeah, I think that's on a par with Murph. Those just like, why are we doing this, WODs? I just don't want to do this anymore. But yeah. So tell us how you got into CrossFit then.
So I think I originally first heard about CrossFit. It was on Netflix. I think it was one of the Fittest on Earth documentaries, and kind of saw that and saw some, I think, videos on YouTube around it, and thought, that looks quite good. But the thing is, I'd never actually done any weightlifting or anything before. So I thought, it looks great, but it probably wouldn't suit me. And then I think it was probably about 6 months or so, I kind of seeing more and more about it, and I thought, actually, this is something I want to give a go. So it's probably just over a year ago now. I thought, book a taster session and see how it went. So I kind of went along to a taster session, saw it's like not too heavy. I don't know if it was power cleans, burpees over row and row, and I thought, okay, this might be all right. Went out way too hard. Absolutely killed me. And I remember it came up at the end and I was just sat on the floor. Lee came over and he's like, genuine question, do I need to get the defibrillator out? But I think there's something about just kind of then, although like the workout itself really, really hurt, I just love the kind of community aspect, the fact that kind of everyone made a point of coming up and saying, so well done. yeah, I guess from that point I was hooked. So signed up, and then I think it was following Saturday started off, and been there ever since.
Cool. And I started this last time. I've done well to remember, but just want to ask what classes you do.
So I tend to try and do the sort of 6 till 7 classes on a weekday, and then try and get along to open gym on a Saturday morning if I can as well.
Every weekday?
At the moment, every weekday apart from Wednesdays. Just got
Cool.
some Wednesday evenings, and I think finding as well just having at least one rest day is
Awesome.
It's good. But I found actually, so I went on unlimited membership, and since doing that, I think found the temptation to just like keep going every day, and actually having to make more of a point now, saying actually listen to my body, it needs to have a rest, and so giving it a chance to recover as well, which I never thought I'd get to the stage where I was actually trained enough to do that. But yeah, just found really enjoying it, so good place to be.
I think everyone should go unlimited.
Absolutely, just think of the gains when you can get from an unlimited.
Look at the 100 Words of Fitness post. It says train 5 to 6 days a week, unlimited.
Yeah, and it's funny actually. So it's about 2 or 3 years ago. So my work used to send everyone for medical. So even though all our work is sort of predominantly IT based, so you sat behind a desk all day, they said actually we'll still pay for people to go and have medicals. So I went along. I was doing sort of running twice a week at the time, thinking, okay, I'm relatively fit, eat okay, and they absolutely tore me apart. In terms of actually saying you're not doing enough intensity, need to train 5-6 times a week. And it's funny, even though they're kind of not affiliated with CrossFit, and it was just a kind of private medical exam, just that 100 words poster, it sums up exactly what they sort of told me. And that was even, 2 or 3 years ago.
So I'm doing my PT course right now, like level 2 and 3. And I would say that the 100 Words of Fitness poster is more than that entire course ever could be. So I'm doing it online. I'm doing these live webinars, and it got to the point today about diet, and I was absolutely gobsmacked, totally lost my head, threw a fit at the screen when the first thing that came up, that the NHS Eat Well guidelines and what they're teaching on the course was meals should be based around carbohydrates like rice, bread, pasta, cereals, and that's the first thing they started with. Like that's their like, yes, start with this, and I completely lost my head. I was shouting at they couldn't hear me, but I was shouting at the screen. I was like, how is this what you're teaching every trainer in the country and everyone, how, like cereals, it's just sugar, bread, rice. If you're exercising loads and a little bit of that, it's glucose, it's going to help. But, for everyone, if you're basing all your meals like that, you're just getting insulin.
Yeah,
you're going to get chronic disease. And I can't believe that's what they're teaching people. And I lost it.
Oh, wasn't it? I think I saw on CrossFit they did a study in Los Angeles and saying actually of the current generation of kids, you look at some of the demographics and they reckon 60-70% could contract diabetes in their lifetime. And
that's the funny thing, is a few slides before they'd put up all these figures of like how unfit the nation is, and they were like, 30% of men only 30% can walk at this speed for this long. And I was like, well, yeah, because you're teaching them all this stuff. I was like, start teaching people properly, and then that might change. I just absolutely lost it. And, I'm doing the PT course because it's a good certification to have, but I'm very fastly learning that it's very outdated in its methods. And that 100, and, CrossFit, it's a weekend course.
Yep.
The 100 Words of Fitness is 100 words, and it's just perfect.
Absolutely. I do have a quick question about 100 words. I saw that one of the movements is pirouettes.
Yeah.
So how soon before pirouettes start making their way into WODs?
Have you not seen me?
Not yet, but...
I'd pirouette, 3 times a day, just 3 times a week. I'm pirouetting constantly. It's one of my many skills.
I mean, I might have done it accidentally when trying to do handstand walks, but not intentionally yet. But look forward to scaling that.
Yeah. Tomorrow's WOD, I'm pretty sure it's 100th time.
That would be quite something.
No, but so You mentioned earlier about how you love the community side of CrossFit. You know, you're always getting involved. You're coming down to Colchester to watch European champs, to watch me. And
congratulations as well.
Thank you. But yeah, a few others come in, and you know, you're always coming out. You come into Christmas party.
I can't, unfortunately. I'm actually travelling back from America at the time, so hopefully got a good excuse, but I'm genuinely gutted to be missing out as well.
So, yeah, how do you find the community, the friendships you've made? Can you talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's brilliant, and I think one of the things, say, I guess before starting CrossFit, I was kind of really put off from going to gyms, and I've been to gyms before, not the strongest guy naturally, and then sort of going and, you know, when you can tell that sort of people judging or sort of the comments like, oh, if you've got less weight on the bar, and although I know this often it can be sort of a female thing, sort of being conscious about others, actually I think guys as much it can happen but in a different format. And so I love the kind of like, actually since joining CrossFit, no one there has judged at all. Like, it doesn't matter. I think as long as you turn up and work hard, I love that people kind of support you in that. I love how people kind of realise that actually everyone is on a journey, and it doesn't matter kind of where you've come from, just as long as you say you turn up and giving it your all. And yeah, just kind of the people as well. I like how I think a lot of people have quite a similar mindset and sort of quite keen to look after themselves and tend to be quite humble. And I think just when you find people with a similar mindset, it's quite easy to get on with them. And yeah, and then the sort of carrots in the box as well, which means that it's always good fun to go down, and yeah, absolutely love it.
Awesome. Sum up, CrossFit is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary.
So let's move on then, and let's, you know how this works. If you're a listener, just take one, and we'll choose the best one that comes out.
So I've got Jonah's choice.
Jonah's choice. I have what could you do better? So it's a little bit deep, but are you up for that?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Probably quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, everything. I could do everything better. I am far from perfect. And yeah. No, cool. Right, and so the topic today is what could you do better? So we could talk about you, we could talk about me. Just in a general sense, in a CrossFit sense, just based on what you think you can improve on in different areas. So we'll start off is, you know, when you're in the gym, when you're at CrossFit, you know, what do you think you could do better? And that's not necessarily meaning, right, I want to get better at pull-ups, but it could be, I could focus more on this side of things, or, you know, this, or on eating or mind or whatever. So yeah, anything you think you could do better?
Yeah, there's probably a couple of areas. So I guess from the training perspective, my background before CrossFit is a lot of running, or I did things like Insanity, so very much cardio based. And I think when you've got something which you quite enjoy or have done a lot of before, then you tend to sort of focus more on that. So if you've got a really heavy cardio based workout with running, then I'll be quite happy with that. The bit which I hadn't done as much before is all the sort of strength and barbell work. And I think certainly initially, whenever I see things like with the barbell, I think, oh no, this is really not my kind of strength. Terrible pun, I guess. But all of that kind of side of it, I think, although sort of over last year, it definitely gone up more than I thought I'd imagine it would do. I think if I look at some of the RX weights, or the kind of open workout weights, there's certain ones in there, especially sort of snatch, overhead squat, where I just couldn't get close still. And so I think certainly over the next kind of few months or years as it is, really need to kind of focus on actually, maybe it's a case of not quite getting as much intensity or less reps, but focusing on getting the higher weight range just to try and build up that strength a little bit. So I think that would probably be one. The other side is nutrition as well. So again, I think I've got a lot better than I used to be, but there's still like the sort of snacks or maybe sort of after a workout. So tonight I had steak, veg, and then hash browns. So I guess the steak and veg not too bad. hash browns probably not the sort of best thing for me as well. So I think if I want to kind of continue to make them sort of gains and improve, then probably nutrition's one where I could put a bit more focus on.
Cool. I think definitely with the strength thing, my advice there is all kind of strength movements in CrossFit will all start with good movement. So I think practice. I don't think anyone practices enough really, but yeah, a lot of practice. Just get used to moving really well, and then the weights will go up. Because it's like, I'm not the biggest deadlifter in the gym. I'm not the biggest deadlifter in CrossFit, but I'll outclean 90% of those people with a bigger deadlift because I move really well. No, I know I'm proficient at cleaning more so than deadlifting, so I need to work on deadlifting. But yeah, in terms of strengths with the more technical lifts, it all starts from that practice and drilling that good movement, and then from the nutrition side, I totally agree. It's freaking hard. Like for me on that front, I'm really good 95% of the time. I will eat meat, vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, 95% of the time. But then if I cheat, I freaking cheat, man, really bad. Like Thursday, I went into town, and the German market was open. I ate so much food. I got really carried away. This was my day of food on last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's rest day. I'm out. Let's make fun of it. So I had these mini like crepe things. I then went for a curry for lunch. I then had 3 donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts. Nice. Then I had a chicken wrap, big chicken wrap with some veg in, and then a McFlurry.
So quite a few calories in there, but love it, the Krispy Kreme. So Paul Florence himself, we have a little joke that kind of, I think Krispy Kreme's fair to say there's a weakness for all of us. Yeah. So we'll get one, we'll send a picture to each other and then use, to paraphrase Matt Fraser, eating donuts pays off, which potentially not in the way we kind of expect, but so good to have a bit of fun.
But yeah, exactly, it comes back to that balance, but I think I could be a lot better at cheating with moderation.
Yeah.
Not thinking, right, I'm cheating, I am going all in, I'm going to get my year's worth of cheats in this hour.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it is hard. But it's those little things of, I want to be as fit as I can, I want to be competitive, but I know I'm not going to be the next Matt Fraser because he's not cheating as much as I am. And, I don't feel mentally strong enough yet to be able to discipline myself that much, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think it will come over time as well. Because exactly. I suppose sort of the habits, even if you're sort of making them small changes and bits and pieces over time, it will kind of all add up.
Yeah, in the bad habits now, but hopefully soon they won't be. What else could I do better in CrossFit? I think I could also just be a little bit more focused sometimes if I really want to make the gains. I think people don't do this enough either. Is if they want to get better at CrossFit, is think about the workout a little bit more. So, especially when they're training, I think a lot of people will always look at the workout and think, how am I going to get the best score in this? And not necessarily how I'm going to get better by doing this workout. So I'll give you an example of maybe you've got a workout of rowing, pull-ups and hang cleans.
Yep. And
it's 20 minutes, half the workout spent off the rower, half the workout spent on the rower. A lot of people will look at that and think, or if you're a good rower, you'll look at that and think, I'm going to hammer the row, and then I'll just kind of cruise through the other stuff, and vice versa. I'm going to take the row easy and kill what I'm good at in this workout. That's how I'm going to get the best score. Yep. But if you take that back and say, okay, how am I going to get better? It might be a case of, okay, I know I'm good on the row, so I'm going to hold that back a little bit, and I'm going to die on the pull-ups and the hang cleans,
Yeah.
or if vice versa, I'm going to take it easy on the pull-ups and the hang cleans, and I'm going to die on the row. And I think I've got better at it lately. I always try and look at the workout and think, where do I need to work on here? But yeah, sometimes it's just a case of looking at the work and thinking, I'm just going to just do it. And I think that's fine too. I think for most people as well, that's fine. But I think if you do want to really get better, I think people can look at that and think, how am I actually going to get better in this workout, and not just think, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I mean, actually, I think one thing that I've found really helpful, and I know sort of yourself, Lee, Gary, say, is actually just turn up. And again, everyone's going to have their sort of bits that are like, for me, snatch, overhead squats, they're the sort of moves that it's like I really don't like doing them, or kind of like tonight, the sort of Murph is just knowing it's not going to be a fun one, it's just going to be a grind, but actually just making a point and say, I'm going to book in for this day, no matter what it is, turn up. And actually, since to get that mentality, found actually the overall fitness and strength has just gone up massively.
Yeah, just turning up massively, especially if you're doing classes, because you can't then bail. You're going to do the class, you will do it, and you're going to get better. For someone like me who is more competitive, reasons for training and not training classes, it's just that it's really important to turn up then, because if you're not booked into a class, if you're just going to train, it's very easy to sometimes just be like, I'm going to stay at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you're in the classes, just book in, show up, and then you're 90% ahead of everyone else.
At the end of the day, you see it like a cheap personal trainer. It's like, don't need to think about what you're going to do. As long as you turn up, then you're going to get a variety of workouts. And
turn up 5 to 6 days a week.
It's just like 100 words again, isn't it?
Exactly. It all comes back to that 100 words.
You have to get it tattooed like somewhere at some point.
Just on my torso,
100
words of fitness. Anyone comes up for any advice, just tear my top off. Just, here's your advice. All you need on my abs.
Just be awkward then when you kind of get it done, and then Greg Glassman decides to change it a little bit, or kind of mention about, regretting teaching, kipping or butterfly pull-ups and stuff.
Not drilling strict more first. I can then get it on the back.
Yeah.
I can get version 1 on the front.
Page 1.
Changes it, turn it over like version 2 on the back. Cool. So let's get a little bit deeper. Right. So this is that's what we could do better in CrossFit. Mm-hmm. What do you think you could do better in life as a person?
That's well, again, probably quite a lot of things when I think about it. I think one of the big ones is actually just saying yes and going for it. So I think sometimes, again, probably still quite similar to CrossFit. I think it's easy. You've got your comfort zone, and it's like staying in that. It's quite nice and comfortable ultimately, but actually I think some of the best experiences and where you grow most is kind of outside of that. And so to see some friends who are brilliant, and kind of no matter what it is, someone says something, they're kind of like, yep, I'm going to do it. It might be something weird, or I might kind of regret it after, but I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So I think for me, definitely just getting more used to saying, if it's an opportunity, just take it, go for it, see what happens.
Awesome. I think for some people as well, they could get used to saying no as well. Mm-hmm. I think some people, yes, people that will just say yes because they're really nice, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes it's like, okay, you can think about yourself a little bit. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to say yes to be nice. You can say no. But yeah, I think it's two ends of the coin, isn't it? Always say yes, always say no. But I think saying yes is, to a lot of things, is very good. It's like you said, getting out of that comfort zone will always develop you as a human, really, because that's how you grow. That uncomfortableness.
Absolutely.
Uncomfortableness. That's a word, isn't it? Uncomfortability. I don't know. Being uncomfortable.
You're talking to a guy that's not long finished Murph. I think if I can even get any words out, it's probably...
That was very uncomfortable. I have
Actually, I didn't even finish it. 40-minute time cap, I was gone, but hey, there we go. I think, to be honest, in general as well, so Ben Bergeron, just some of the little things he says, and I think he wrote a book, was it Chasing Excellence, I think, and interesting to kind of see that, how he compares the performance of the likes of like all the games athletes, and actually how you can, little tips and stuff. in that. And I think one of the ones I really liked was about life happens, but actually the kind of the way you interpret it can then sort of actually change how it goes. So I think the example he gave was, it was on the, I think, 2016 games. They did the first day at the ranch, got back to the airport, and then the flights were delayed by 3 hours. And so actually every athlete is in the same boat, but then how they choose to deal with it was different. So he's saying one of the athletes that wasn't quite as competitive, wasn't doing as well, text saying, "Oh, it's absolutely terrible. I'm only going to get this amount of sleep and it's going to be a disaster." And then Matt Fraser texts saying, "Oh, it's brilliant. Everyone thinks they're kind of having a tough time, which already gives me the mental advantage." So I think kind of having that mindset, it's like, okay, things aren't always going to go right. I can't control it, but what can you do about it to then to try and salvage the situation? I think that's something quite good to do as well.
I think that's such good advice to anyone. I think it does take time to learn to do this, but if you can choose to be positive and quote unquote choose to be happy, it has such a good impact on your whole life. I mean, whatever way you look at things, you can always put a positive spin on it. It's always that looking, choosing to smile. Like, I think that's one area I've improved a lot on, through CrossFit, through learning about mindset and whatnot. It's that life's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, if you're one of those people that just thinks, "Oh, life's not fair, woe is me," like, yeah, it's the same for everyone. Life isn't fair. It just is what it is. You've just got to choose to be happy. And I think it, when I started CrossFit, like I said, I was a moody teenager. I didn't have a lot of hope for the world. I was lazy, do everything half-assed, even things I thought I wanted to do, whether it be playing football or whatever. It would all be the bare minimum and just getting by.
Yep. And
now I've learned about committing myself, and if I want to do something, do it properly. If I don't want to do something, I'm still going to do the bare minimum because I don't want to do it. But if I do want to do it, then do it properly. And that's still a work in progress. I think what I could be better at is just get rid of that little bit of still lazy teenager that's inside me that still likes to lie in and still likes to do the bare minimum. And I think it's definitely a work in progress. It's definitely coming on. I know I'm a lot better person now than I was 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, whatever. I think I'm becoming a better person every day. And I think that's true about a lot of people that do CrossFit and are involved with that mindset side of things. People that read books such as Chasing Excellence, like you said. And if anyone doesn't, I highly recommend giving that one a read. Mindset book called Mindset, more sport based, like How Champions Think and The Champion's Mind, and all those books, really good. But yeah, and I think the biggest advice I can give to anyone, if you want to be a better person, it's don't be a dick. that's the motto I live my life by. It's okay to be a dick sometimes if it's banter. Bit of banter. If you're in the gym with Mac, you're a bit of a dick to him. That's fine because it's banter. But yeah, in a moral sense, always don't be a dick.
So, and what's it they say as well? It's like always treat others well because you never know what they're going through as well. I guess slight paraphrase of what you're saying, but very true. You don't know what battles and stuff they're facing.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Always welcome everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's a human. Don't be a dick. Unless they're a dick to you. Still don't be a dick.
That's a whole nother podcast right there.
Yeah, next week we're going to talk about revenge on your enemies.
Absolutely.
So anything else you think you could do better in live CrossFit or anything else?
I, 'cause, 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 ' there probably would be other things. I think just right off the top of my head, quite difficult to think of, but maybe I guess after people listen to this podcast and welcome any suggestions and things that picked up on me, or may regret to say
Damn,
that.
I really think you could do this better. It's just really bugging me, and yeah, you need to work on that.
When you see me in the box crying in the corners, like 20 people have told me I need to sort my life out.
But Dad just did this to me too. You need to tell me something. We could both just cry.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, I think everyone is a work in progress. I think there's definitely value in just kind of constantly trying to keep improving yourself. And it's interesting. I think I saw an article a couple of weeks ago, and it's actually a few business leaders that do CrossFit saying actually they're changed from going on sort of all your strength-based recruitment, saying actually some of the attributes in CrossFit is what they want in employees, and actually you can find people sort of might go in feeling entitled or thinking, oh, this is, I deserve this, but then actually something goes wrong, so, well, it hasn't worked out, I'm going to change. And so actually CrossFit, it means that you're going to fail a lot. Like when you're trying to lift, you aim for a PB, you're going to miss it a lot before you actually hit it. It's going to be a grind. You're not going to hit it straight away, but then it kind of long term. And so actually they're saying some of them behaviours, like over long term, could actually translate not just from CrossFit but also into business.
That's another thing I can
life.
do better in CrossFit is fail. Like, there's a lot of times I look at workouts and think, this is a good workout for me. Let's go kill it, and then I'll get to 10-second countdown, and my brain will go, yeah, but what if you die one round in? Let's just see how it goes, and let's push at the end. And sometimes you finish the workout and think, great, I paced that perfectly. But whenever you think that, you always think, oh, but could I have gone a little bit harder? So I think that's something I could do better is just going hard, like from the start, and just, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But yeah, I always, every single time I'm looking at work, yeah, I'm going to kill this. 10 seconds, it's like, oh, I don't want to die. I'm going to pace this one out.
You saying that is actually reminding me of something else I can do better, and that's in a workout, not get distracted by the playlist. And you know when there's like certain songs you absolutely love, you kind of really get fired up. So that's happened to me a few times. The song will come on, absolutely love it, and then after the song's finished thinking, oh no, I've gone way too hard. The rest of the workout's really going to be difficult because of that. So there's certain songs in there, I probably shouldn't disclose them, because then people, if they want to screw up my workouts, know just to put that song on. But I guess as someone that loves music, and certain songs that come on, it's like great for 2 minutes, but then I'll probably be in trouble after that. So tune it out and focusing a bit more is something else.
Cool. And yeah, the last one for me is what I could do better, is I think I could be a little bit of, I'm not going to say kind of a better friend as in I'm a bad friend to have, but I think I'm very bad with like times. So I'll see a mate and then I'll say, right, well, yeah, we'll do something again in a few weeks. A few months will pass and I won't even have noticed. And I'll then text that friend like, oh, it's been a while, thinking it's only been a few weeks. And it's really been months, because I've just... A lot of people, but yeah, I think could be better at that. You know, it's hard to see everyone all the time.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people in my life that I care about, and it's a lot of people. But yeah, I think I could text a few people a few more times a year or a month or whatever, and just make a bit more time to socialise with everyone. But I think I do okay.
Yeah. Absolutely, but say it's one of the things keep working on, and it'll happen.
Yeah, true that. But the main thing, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
Or if you take one thing away from podcast.
Yeah, if you're gonna take anything, if you're ever making any decision in your life, always think, am I being a dick doing this or not? And if it's not, go and do it. And if it is, don't do it.
Perfect. You've even got the title of the podcast sorted as well.
Don't be a dick. Episode 10. Jonah and Dan. All right then. Any final thoughts on that? Are you good?
Yeah, I think I'm good on that.
Cool, man.
Right.
So, questions to Jonah.
Yeah, so
rolls.
I do indeed. So
hit me a CrossFit one, and then mix it up a bit.
Well, I've kind of got a bit of a mix.
Okay, cool.
But first couple, say, I think it was on one of the earlier podcasts, you mentioned that one of your sort of longer term goals is to actually open your own box one day.
Yeah.
So first one is, say, if money was no object, where would you pick to open your future box?
Where would I pick? Somewhere there's a gap in the market for it. It's hard to say, just because you don't know where you're going to end up. Where, if ideally, I'd love to open one in America. I don't think I will, but I'd like that. I think it'd be a cool thing to do. Move to California or something. Australia too. Be cool to go there. I don't know yet. We'll put a pin in that one.
Fair enough. And then just the second one about, say, it's been said that actually more boxes can boast an athlete that's lost over £100 in body weight than have actually sent an athlete to the games. So when you sort of in future open your box, which would you prefer to have?
The losing the weight one. Okay. Like, so for me right now, the main goal is be competitive, do competitions, do all that stuff. As soon as you open a gym, that kind of goes.
Yeah.
So, this year, next year, I've planned to do a lot of comps in Europe and stuff. Just signed up for like Athens. There's the one in Kiev I'm looking at as well. But as soon as you kind of open a gym, that focus goes away from being competitive. And if people want to be competitive in gym, that's cool. You can help them, but the focus becomes more on health and CrossFit health and stuff like that, and helping people lose weight, change their lives, and just implementing people with that 100 words of fitness every day. And so lose weight all day long. Like, I'd rather have a gym full of 65-year-old women that can't do an air squat than a bunch of guys that are going to the games.
Yeah. That's
just because I like old women.
Again, that could be a whole other podcast. No, I think it's great, and as you say,
this CrossFit gym with his 65-year-old old women. We have a great time.
Absolutely.
It's like Bridge Club.
I had to go into Bridge Club once because they'd locked up the toilets and I saw things in there.
They were setting the fire alarms off the other day. I don't know what they were doing, but I reckon it was something weird.
I went in and was like, do you mind if I use your toilet? And like, you can, but you've got to be dead silent, and whatever you do not interrupt the play.
We're filming. Good old Bridge Club. We love them.
Absolutely. What has been your proudest moment as a coach at B76?
As a coach?
As a coach.
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. I have to think about that. I can't single one out. It's just a lot of little moments. So, for example, I think it was last weekend, Paul came up to me, or he sent me a message or something. He was like, I just finished teaching him in a class. Mm-hmm. Shout out Paul from episode 1. And he said, in that workout, it was like 5 rounds for time or something, and it was 5 power snatches at the end of every round. And he said, I've just done 5 power snatches at like 90%, like 5 rounds, so 25 total at 90%, and it felt really good. And he said, I didn't miss one, and it was just that little cue you gave me or the class at the start, which really helped me, and it just was flying up then.
Yeah.
And it's just little moments like that when people tell you like that this really helped me, and because then you know that what you've said has helped people get better, and that's happened. Doesn't happen every day, but it's a good day when someone comes up to you and is like, what you said really helped me with this or whatnot. I know even like moments when you yourself, I think it was after one episode of the podcast, and you messaged me and it was like, I really related to that. That was really good. I really like listening to that. It's just stuff like that that warms my soul just to know I'm doing a good job. But I can't single a single moment out, but just all the little ones that make it worth it.
Brilliant. Good way to be.
Yeah, man.
So I know you deal with the controversial topics on the podcast. So I guess one that could be quite divisive. So Nike, Reebok, or other, and why?
My loyalty is to CrossFit. So wherever CrossFit is, I am where they are. I think as a general sports company, you can't argue that Nike is the best, as they are. But as a CrossFit company, it's Reebok CrossFit. So go for Reebok there. But I'm loyal to CrossFit, man. Wherever they want to be, that's where I am.
Fair enough. I can't wait. 2020 Donny CrossFit Games.
Yeah, when Fila comes in, I'm going to be repping my Fila CrossFit shoes and my Donnays and Diodoras.
The classics.
Classic, man.
Okay, and then I guess last couple. So moving away from CrossFit. So if you could time travel, where would you go?
Forward or back?
Either. You can pick.
Far future, man. The year like 2,500 or something like that. I don't know. Somewhere like same place, just move really far in the future just to see what they can do. Just check out the teleporting and stuff. That's kind of the only. I don't want to go back in time. I don't care about the past. I want to know what's happening in the future. That was like at school, man, when we used to do history. I hated history at school. I was like, I don't care about what happened in the past. I wasn't there. I want to know what's happening in the future. So yeah, time travel to the future. Check out what they can do then. Check out how obese everyone is and riddled with chronic disease because the PT courses and the NHS are telling people to eat cereal.
Well, you never know. CrossFit could take over the world and then suddenly you go forward and
flipping
everyone absolutely
better,
jacked.
mate. It better. Maybe I will have revolutionised it. Maybe I will be the new chief of. I don't know.
A good answer. And then final one. So congratulations, I guess, on reaching 10 episodes. How have you found doing the podcast?
I've really enjoyed it. It's just really fun just to sit down and talk to people. Like I can talk all day. So it's really fun. I think again it's rewarding just to get inside the brain of other CrossFitters and talk about all areas of things, and it's just good to see how CrossFit impacts all areas of life in a good way. How it's good to talk about other things because there are other things to CrossFit. That's a shock, but there are. It's nice to talk about that with people because you don't often get to when you just see them in the gym, and yeah, it's just been really fun, really rewarding, and I'm gonna keep doing it. You know, I don't care if one person listens. I don't care if 100 people listen. All I want is to mean something to either me or the person I'm talking to or the one person listening. So yeah.
Great. That's it from me for my questions.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How have you found the last 45 minutes? We have just literally hit 45 minutes.
It's been good, to be honest. I have to admit I was a little bit nervous before. Hadn't really done anything like this, but yeah, it's been good to chat. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to sort of keep talking for 45 minutes and run out of things to say, but you make it very easy.
Yeah, man, it's my job. But yeah, everyone says that, and then like, they get talking about CrossFit. They're like, oh, CrossFit this, CrossFit that. I can't stop talking about CrossFit. It's like, yeah, I knew this would happen. It's all good. But yeah, anyone listening, I will be looking for my next guest. If you want that to be you, let me know, and we'll get some in the diary. Final thoughts on anything we've talked about today, or CrossFit? Anything else you want to whack in there?
I think all I'd say, whether it's WODs for community events or what have you, it's a really great bunch of people. Just get involved, turn up and get stuck in, and you'll get a lot out of it. So I've done that, enjoyed it, and yeah, just highly recommend it.
Awesome. Little personal plea. Like I said, I'm going to do some competitions this year. Anyone wants to come and watch me anywhere, and do let me know. Dan will be coming with, I think, 10, 11 other people down to Colchester in January to watch me at the European Championships. We're staying at Holiday in Colchester for the weekend. If anyone else wants to come, then let me know. And then if anyone wants some European trips, let me know as well, because like I said, I'm going to try and get to Athens and various places coming up. So yeah, anyone wants to be on the Jonah Jones groupie bus for the year, let me know, and we'll get some stuff sorted for some CrossFit trips, CrossFit holidays. But yeah, play over, and I think we're going to end the episode there. It's been episode 10. Really enjoyed enjoyed our chat. I'm glad to be back after the hiatus, and I promise that won't happen. Okay, I'm not going to promise that because I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen again. I hope we can stick to a semi-regular schedule now. And I shall see you all next time. I hope you've enjoyed listening. Bye.
Thank you.